Hola, buenos días. Hoy vamos a hablar sobre los usos del imperfecto y el preterito. We use the imperfect to describe habitual or repeated events in the past. We use the preterite to describe a particular or specific event. So mostly the preterite is going to be used when there is a beginning and an end to an action or an event. The imperfect is something that used to happen, but no longer does. There are certain words that can help you decide which one you're going to use, whether the preterite or the imperfect. The imperfect is often used with the expressions like siempre, always, los sábados, on Saturdays, todos los días, every day, a menudo, often. These all imply repetition. Now the preterite is used with una vez, once or one time, el sábado pasado, last Saturday, un día, one day, esta mañana, this morning, anoche, last night. These all imply the event that happened once. So like I said previously, there is a beginning and an end to the preterite, and the imperfect is something that used to happen. So we say used to plus the verb in English to express something that happened repeatedly in the past. With this, we would be using the imperfect. For example, Carlos used to spend the summer in Mexico. Carlos pasaba el verano en México. We used to play tennis. Jugábamos al tenis. The preterite is used to describe a well-defined action or event which happened at a specific point in time. The imperfect is used to describe ongoing actions or events. In English, we say was, were, plus the ing ending of a verb. Cuando Carlos llamó, yo estudiaba. So, when Carlos called, I was studying, something that I was currently doing at that time, so an ongoing action. Carmen llamó mientras nos desayunábamos. So Carmen called while we were having breakfast. Also, an ongoing action. Anita sacó una foto de unos niños que jugaban al fútbol. So Anita took a picture of the children who were playing football or soccer. It is also an ongoing action. Now the preterite is used to describe an action in the past. El año pasado mi hermano visitó México. So last year my brother visited Mexico. Vi una escuela grande. I saw a big school. Vi la escuela muy bien. I saw the school very well. The imperfect is used to describe specific circumstances. Time. Era el 10 de abril. It was the 10th of April. Eran las 8 de la noche. It was 8 at night. And weather. Hacía mal tiempo. It was a bad weather. Llovía. It was raining. Location. Yo iba por la Avenida Libertad. I was going by Liberty Avenue. Yo estaba en la escuela. I was at school. For age, el profesor tenía 30 y 35 años. So the teacher was between 30 and 35 years old. Physical appearances. Era un hombre alto. He was a tall man. Llevaba un suéter gris. He or she was wearing a gray sweater. Emotional state. Estaba nervioso. He was nervous. An attitude. Él quería aprender español. He wanted to learn Spanish. Ella tenía ganas de conocer Mexico. She felt like meeting Mexico or getting to know Mexico. Note, the past tense form of I is now going to be hubo. Hubo una fiesta. And remember, with the I, we don't conjugate it as well as hubo. Hubo does not get conjugated. It's just going to be used in the past tense. Hubo. There was a party. Había muchas personas. There were many people. So now había is going to be with an I with an accent, because it's plural. Hubo is singular, había is plural. When we speak in the past, it's either a circumstance or an isolated action. For example, we use the preterite or the imperfect to describe an ongoing action. What do you think? You got it right. The imperfect. Remember, we use the imperfect for an ongoing action. We use the preterite or the imperfect to describe an isolated action. Which one do you pick? Preterite is correct. Now, we're going to translate the following sentences, and you will need a little piece of paper and a pencil or a pen to write these with. And I will give you the answer for each of those when we are done going over them. When I was a child, I didn't speak Spanish. You can also pause the video, guys. So here is the answer. You can go ahead and pause and write the sentence and then go over and read the answer and make sure that you did it right. But here we go. Cuando era niño or niña, so when I was a child, a young boy or a young girl, no hablaba español. I did not speak Spanish. Last night, I spoke Spanish with Ramón. Anoche yo hablé español con Ramón. Notice that the hablaba is in the imperfect. Why? Because it's when I was a child, something that happened habitually in the past, but no longer does. Now, this was last night, something that had a beginning and an end, and it just recently happened. Julio had a CD player. Julio tenía un tocadiscos. Tenía is going to be the imperfect because there was something that he used to have. Julio sold his disc CD player. Julio vendió sus tocadiscos. So he sold something that had a beginning and an end. Anita was my best friend. Now remember, this one is Anita used to be my best friend. So I sometimes like to tell my students to plug that used to in there just to help you identify whether you're using the imperfect or the preterite. In this case, the translation would be, Anita era mi mejor amiga. Anita left to live in Mexico. Anita se fue a vivir en México. In the summer, we used to go to the beach. En el verano, íbamos a la playa. Yesterday, we didn't go to the beach. And again, remember guys to be pausing the video as I go through so you can give yourself as much time as you need to practice these. Ayer no fuimos a la playa. So, to describe or use for the preterite, it's going to be a specific time, an action, or an event completed in the past. Yo visité Puerto Rico. I visited Puerto Rico. To describe the imperfect, there are going to be circumstances of a past action or event. Cuando tenía 16 años, when I was 16 years old. Now, when you are describing an ongoing past action or event, which one do you want to use? The imperfect or the preterite? If you chose the imperfect, you are correct. Mis primos vivían en San Juan entonces. My cousins lived in San Juan then. A repeated past action or event. Which one are you going to use, the preterite or the imperfect? If you chose the imperfect, you are correct. Ellos me invitaban todos los veranos. Good. Good job, guys. Well, this is the end of our presentation today. Make sure that you practice all those sentences and giving yourself time to pause and write those translations because that is going to be the golden key to be successful with the preterite and the imperfect. Okay, chicos, hasta luego, and please reach out to me if you have any questions. Ciao!